Hi guys, hope you're doing well today. So today we're going to talk about the difference between 3D and 4D and why it matters in your manifestation and your specific person, attracting in your specific person. Okay, Neville Goddard talks about God as being your imagination and the kingdom being within. Okay, so the 3D, which I've stated in other videos as being what a lot of people call reality, but it is not reality. Anything that you can see, hear, feel, touch, smell is not reality. It is a reflection, a shadow of reality. It is a reflection of your inner state, but it is also the past version of your inner state. So what you were thinking yesterday, you'll see today. So yesterday being, some of us are at a frequency that is faster, some are slower. So some people are manifesting more quickly. Manifesting, even that term, please comment on what I'm about to say if you want more information. Manifesting, you're not quote unquote creating, you're not creating anything new. You're simply, creation is already done. So what you are really doing is realizing an experience here. You're realizing it, you're choosing it, and you're realizing it. Okay, so again, okay, let's go back to 3D. What a lot of people call reality. Other people, I actually attended a dream uh, class within a doctoral program, and they will call it, so dream experts will call this, and also like A Course in Miracles and different philosophy will call this, when you're awake like this, your waking dream, because you're still dreaming about this experience here, which is not reality. Okay, there's a real beautiful beauty to this too. So what a lot of people will do when they're manifesting, what you're doing is realizing you are choosing a parallel universe or a universe or an experience. You are choosing a timeline. That's another word for it. A timeline is what you're choosing. And what we're trying to get to is the highest timeline, the highest third dimension. Well, everything that you even see in this third dimension starts with an idea. So what we are supposed to do here is bring this idea from heaven, where and I'm pointing to this brain up here, but this is not our total mind. This is a little teeny small computer up here that relies on past experience of the 3D. And so what it does, this is where that is where part of the ego draws from, is past experience to protect the body. But things will start with an idea. Let's go back to that. Anything that I'm kind of skipping over, please, if I skipped over something, please put it in the comments so I can explain myself or do another video. Because it's all kind of circular, one big ball of wax, and I will sometimes skip over things. So if you're new to manifesting, this is probably, it's going to be a learning curve. All right, but I know you can get it, because you guys are waking up, and we're all waking up together. Okay, so So what we're supposed to do, if you've heard the phrase "bring heaven to earth," that is actually in the Lord's Prayer, right? So, um, so which part is it? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. On earth, the 3D, as it is in heaven. That's in the Lord's Prayer. Please, if you're not Christian or you're offended by that, please, just hold on a second, okay? I'm not here to be a Christian Bible thumper. However, uh, you know, there's a lot of good material in every religion, in every philosophy. It's like everything's, every one of them have got a piece of the puzzle, even the darkest ones. Okay, I've got a piece of the puzzle, and if we put it all together, and we take what is works and is the highest vibration, we'll get the more of the picture, and we'll become more powerful as creators. And I'm not saying go to the dark side and start manifesting. No, 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 no. Okay, that's another video. So, but what we want to do is we want to use power in a way that is constructive, not destructive. And unfortunately what a lot of us are doing is we're using power ignorantly, because not ignorantly as in stupidity. Ignorantly as in means the definition is that you don't know how. So it's just something you don't know about, and when you don't know how to use it, then you don't, you picked up a saw, and it can build a beautiful home, or it can send you to the hospital. Okay, and a lot of us are sending ourselves to the hospital with it because we don't know how to use it. So power is just power. So I can, if I know the laws, and there's a vast amount of information about it, if I know the laws and how to use this power, I can turn on a lamp, plug in a lamp, or if I'm working with it and I don't really know, I'm not an electrician, I could shock myself, right? So I could just kill myself, right? You've seen people get electrocuted. Well, so that's me being ignorant of how this, what electricity works in this walls. I'm not going to mess with that unless I educated myself on it, right? So, fortunately these days, we are starting to learn how to use that. Unfortunately, that information has been withheld from us for quite a long time, and only gone to, it used to be that only those ordained would had access to the information. Anyway, so the third dimension, again, back to the third dimension, is an experience. It is a reflection of your inner state. It is not, however, the something that you should rely on for information of how something is going to end up. Does that make sense? So no circumstance matters, no condition matters. The only thing that matters is your state of being. So what we do is we take the fifth dimension. So I have a blueprint in the fifth dimension, let's say, a blueprint of what I want to experience. And interestingly, it is the desires of our heart are our guide. The desires of our heart are what is already given to us. It is the deep desires. No, I'm not talking cravings, which are superficial, immediate, like relief from something like negativity or stress or whatever. with the deep desires of our heart that keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back. This could be for a dream career. This could be for the life you want to live, where you want to go, from the person that you love. It keeps coming back. It just doesn't go away. And so that is a guide map to helping you to, it's like the carrot that helps you to start to learn how to use this energy. It gives you the motivation to learn how to use this energy, but not just that. It's the journey to it that's also part of it, and it's also, it has so many lessons on the way. That's usually what it's about. So you run towards your fear, right? Not towards a bus. That's not what I'm talking about. Don't put the body in danger. What we're talking about is, if you desire to be a singer, or you desire to be a dancer, or you desire to have a certain job, or become a doctor, or whatever it is, or be, have a loving family with a certain person, that desire, the desires of your heart are given to you. Now, you've heard that phrase. God gives you the desires of your heart. What that really means is that the desires are put into your heart, into your being, as almost like as a longing, if you will. Initially is put in, or continually, it's a longing, it's a guide. You're given the desire. That means that it exists for you, that it's already there, it's already been created. How is that? Well, creation is done. Believe it or not, creation is already done. I'm not the one who first said this, okay? Creation is done. Actually, what's happening is we are still processing that, this creation. And creation is, again, this, what we see, hear, feel, taste, touch, and smell, right? The five senses. It's done, and what we're trying to do is get to our highest timeline. And you do that by following the guide and having faith, and learning how to use that faith energy, because it's an energy that you will keep returning to, and denying what you see in I don't even like to use the word manifest, but in what you see in front of you, you learn to be able to say, no, that is not dictating what I'm going to realize as an experience here. So that is faith in the things that are not seen yet, but your faith as a grain of mustard seed will move mountains, and it will move people, it will move corporations, it will. As a matter of fact, one of a great manifestation teacher, Athena Raven, and Joseph Ally, they will tell you she actually desired a certain car. That, I love this story. You look it up on her site, where she actually, this car didn't even exist or something, but she got like this car that wasn't even in existence or something, but she meant it, but literally, so she has it still, she loves it. I hear there's many situations like this. I myself, I can tell you stories also, but situations will move, mountains will move, people will move, businesses will move. It doesn't matter how many people or situations will move into aiding your realization, as long as it's already existing. However, it's your highest timeline, but you can go to lower timelines and delay that manifestation or realization with doubt. And it's not that we're not going to doubt. That's not the point. The doubts will come because they're just thought forms that some people say are pendulums, or they arrive from the mass consciousness, and they just come along, and you can't really stop them. But what you can do, and you can even say to these thought forms, these doubts and these uncertainties, you can actually, they're like little children, little spirits that are, you call them spirit babies or whatever, but they, you know, they need love, if you will, because it's a part of the human ego or the mass consciousness, wherever you, or maybe it's your next door neighbor's thoughts, but they float around essentially, and they swoop through like clouds. So the point is when they come along and they create, like if they create a feeling in you, then that feeling that they create, so the thought and the feeling, they're not yours, but you have them, they come to you. You may need to say, I hear you, but that's not quite the truth, but I still acknowledge that you're also, there's this feeling that comes with it of sadness or remorse or doubt or fear. Fear is the main one, feeling that all these other things stem from. So there's only two kinds of feelings, love and fear, but fear doesn't exist, so love has no opposite. Again, perfect love casts out fear, but also perfect fear casts out love. So what we do when we have those fearful thoughts of fear come to us, what they are, they need love. So when it comes to you, it's like a little immature child that's scared and lonely. And what would you do with a little child that came to you that was fearful? You'd be like, get out of here, I don't want to hear it, right? Or you wouldn't do that, right? No. Any good parent would do that. So what we do is we take that thought and feeling, and the life coach, Joe Hudson, look him up, Joe Hudson, life coach, great teacher, and his wife, Tara. So how he teaches it is we practice the Sedona method or the triple welcoming method. If you want to know more about those, please make a comment down below, and we'll do a video on that, which I will at some point anyway. Please remind me. So when those thoughts come, let's say, we may say to the child, like, okay, I hear what your thought is. That's not really what's going on, but I can feel the fear. I can feel your feeling. Let me love you and hold you through this, and be with the feeling, love the feeling. And what you'll find, it's like the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz, you know, when Dorothy throws the water on it, it just melts the fear, because perfect love casts out fear, right? Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We are acknowledging the fear. We're acknowledging these fearful thoughts. And here's the conundrum too, is that, for instance, like when you look in the mirror and you see a certain thing you don't like, that's information. Oh, dang, I'm glad I see that is kind of happening in my body, so I may want to change that. Again, all this is a reflection. This world is a reflection of your inner state. So it's showing you things. It's got to show you what is happening on your inner state that you're not quite aware of. Just like when you look in the mirror, when you look in the mirror and you see something, oh, I didn't know that was there. Let me take care of that. We wouldn't know what we looked like if there wasn't a mirror. We wouldn't know unless you would go to a lake or some reflective surface. If we didn't have reflective surfaces, we would not know what's going on. And sometimes that's a good thing, right? You feel like it's a good thing. However, you know, a lot of times we want to know, right? So we can correct it. So we don't go to the mirror and correct it, just like here. We don't go to the mirror and correct it because that's not going to work. We've got to correct it here, in our beingness, right? But this is, we're talking the body level, right? 3D level. Just as above, so below. So that little analogy right there shows us how this world, this third dimension works. It is simply a mirror. So what we've got to do is, with this mirror, it's showing us our inner state, unlike the mirror is showing our body state. What it's showing us where we need to make some fixes. And so we're going to go to our inner state, and this is where, if we see something we don't like happening in the 3D, then that's our opportunity. And it can really be sucky. I mean, looking in the mirror, and also this, it can be like, oh, I had no idea. A lot of times it'll come with a shock value. It's painful. That pain, take that pain, love it, sit with it, be with it. And then when you've given yourself love, given that painful idea, you know, you said, okay, I don't think you're quite seeing this quite right, but however, I hear your feelings. So love those feelings, love it, accept it as it is, love it. And love yourself and acknowledge yourself for your bravery and your courage. That is also, courage is a level 250 in the emotional scale of, who did that? I can't remember. If somebody remembers who did the emotional scale. Courage is right where is at 250, where we are transitioning into light, if you will, is when we're really starting to awaken. It takes courage to do this, and we are all courageous for being here. We are all courageous. We are superstars on the other side. So it takes courage to look at this, and you'll see some painful things. It'll shock you or cause you pain. That pain is a wake-up call. That's a red flag, and being grateful for it. So it gives you the wake-up call that something's got to be changed. Okay, that is great. Thank you. However, suffering is optional. So if I keep returning to that painful idea and I am accepting, like, that is reality, it's not. It is not the end game. It's never really the end game. So you can always change instantly a 3D manifestation, a 3D appearance. You can always change it. And this is part of how we learn that we are creators. We are children of the great one creator. We are all like parts of that one creator, the source. So we are gods of this reality. Your world, you are the savior of it, and that's another that you are, what's his name? Neo, you are Neo in your own world, okay, of your world. The reason is because it's your world. And Darius Wright, another fabulous teacher, will show you, if you go visit his site, he's on YouTube also, Darius Wright with a W, W-R-I-G-H-T, Darius, D-A-R-I-U-S. He will show you how on the other side of the veil, how there's multiverses, and how we each have our own little multiverses. Yes. So again, another great analogy is The Wizard of Oz, which I did write a book using that analogy, Realizing Emerald City. And you can get that on Amazon. It's under Lydia Scott or Lakshmi Anand. I republished it. Anyway, so if you see it there. Also have, I think it's on my website, you can get a free download the digital version of that, or the workbook that goes along with it. But why is this? Why is this so necessary in manifesting your healing or your relationship with your specific person or money, abundance? It's really abundance, um, prosperity, health, your dreams, your dream life. Why is this important? Because if you look to the third dimension as the end game, the final result, you will be sorely disappointed, usually before your highest timeline has been reached, because you'll give up. It will be make you feel despair, which that's not a good place to be. Trust me. So you can be there for years, and you may have seen other people go through this, and die this way, but that's just their story. It's the story in your world. Don't ever compare your possibilities with others, because it's just stories. It's his story, his story, his story, their story. Let it go. If you want to know about his story, an explanation on that, it's not even real what's going on. What you see out there in the world. How's it go? 1,000 shall fall at my right hand and 10,000 at my left hand. I'm not sure, but it shall not come nigh thee. Please let me know about that. I know I've made several biblical quotes. It's a good book. There's other good books too, so please just bear with. If you have any problem with that, keep your mind open to good information, no matter where it comes from. I'm asking you, keep your mind open. If it makes sense, if it's good, we can all learn from each other. But it's so important to, like, for instance, if you have somebody who is unwell around you, unwell or in poverty or addicted, or you think that they're cheating, or they're unfaithful, or they're an avoidance, or that they're lazy. Please, that's a judgment. All this is judgments, and we can free each other. You can free that person who's really still just a reflection of your inner state. They will have to become to be a reflection of the inner state. Not necessarily that because you see an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic. Could be. However, it could be that you're addicted to another person, or you're obsessing about something, or you're worrying, or they're creating feelings are coming up because of that reflection. They betrayed me, they're disloyal, they made me a victim, they. So it puts your locus of control outside of yourself instead of internally. And I'm not saying that you don't work through those feelings. You absolutely do. However, you work through those feelings by loving them, loving yourself. I feel betrayed. Another teacher is, oh my gosh, what's her name? She just passed away. Carolyn Elliott, I think is her name. She wrote Existential Kink. Great book. Existential Kink. Carol Elliott. Again, another great teacher. You may not agree with her background or whatever, but be open. Be open. And so, Anyway, lots of good information. You have questions, please put in the comments so I know what information we need to go over more in depth. Hold on to your faith in seeing the person in their other people in their highest timeline, because what you're really doing is you're putting yourself in your highest timeline. If you have only angels and high frequency people around you, and you're seeing that your prayers are and your vision is working for people to change and their lives are changing, you're saving the world. You're saving yourself. Unless you need other people to have problems so that you can feel okay. And that's some shadow work to do. Sorry if that offends, but it is something to look at. It is real. It's a way to distract from your own inner work. And I'm asking you to look at yourself instead of looking outside at other people and judging other people. And start looking with love. And I'm sorry if that is offensive, but it's how dysfunctions in families are created, because we want to look outside ourselves and go and fix other people. And believe me, I know about it. I'm in the social work field. So please let me know what you want to hear more about. To have a great life, start by having a great day. That doesn't mean you can't cry and it still be a great day. Live, love, laugh. Bye for now. See you later.